Welcome to Azure Infinitum Podcast. This is your host, Reiki Fukushima, and I am here with our podcast hosts. We got Oshkosh B'gosh, Baby Shoes, Nora Swift, Glitch Symphony, and Mistithgar Arodica with us from the community. And we are going to talk about a couple of things here today. But first, we're going to talk about our big summer event coming up next week. At the time of this recording, we are about a week away from Azure Summer Fest 2023. And it is shaping up to be quite a weekend. We got 3 days of back-to-back events, prizes, giveaways, raffles, races, contests, and more planned. Bringing back some of our yearly favorites, some things that we feature pretty much only in summer, but also Azure Day favorites as well, with maybe a little spin on them. It's kind of a tradition in Summerfest to do some pretty wacky, crazy things, and then give out a ton of prizes in the process. And having a lot of crazy fun, doing some stuff that you may not see every day, such as. Well, what are some of your guys' favorite summer events or Azure Day events that we do?
I mean, pretty much all of them. A lot of our schedule right now is to be announced.
Yeah, yeah. I think TBA is my favorite event.
TBA.
Is my mic messing up? Sorry about that. Okay, here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the introduction of the Fate Farmers event to an Azure Day kind of thing. Yep. That's going to be great because I know we do it as an event now, but not everybody can make it on Fridays. So there's a lot of people who just don't have all their shared fates done, and that'll be great.
It's a lot.
Isn't the Fate event on Saturday though?
It is on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Brain fart.
It is on Saturday, but it is during Summerfest. So that
when
is
we did it the first time, it was on Friday. Now it's on Saturday.
Yes, that's because we had fate-defying Fridays, so it's kind of the same goal. Maybe somebody listening might remember that. That was about.
I helped run that event.
A year. Well, I know you here did, but maybe one of our listeners remember. About a year and a half ago, we had a Fate Farm event. It was very similar goals, getting those gemstones and those rewards for shared fate ranks. This time we got an event. We have Endwalker and Shadowbringers together, which I think we did that last time too. But we're also going to be kind of getting ready for maybe the next set next year too, if it's super successful. And this time it's bi-weekly, so there won't be as much burnout on fates.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah.
And also, I like to say it was triggering me a little bit to look on the event calendar and see like those 2 empty Saturdays. Everything else on the schedule was so nice and neat and put together and all the overlapping thing. And then it was just those 2 empty Saturdays, and it was just triggered me every time I looked at it.
Yeah.
So it's good that there's going to be something on the calendar. Yeah.
Yeah.
A while back, that was Blue Man Group, but that's hard to sustain.
Well, Blue Man Group was Sundays, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
or am I
Sunday.
misremembering?
I thought Blue Man was alternating Saturdays, because there was something that was alternating Saturdays from Mountathon.
There's a few different. Oh, that was the Dungeon Delvers.
Was that 7 Saturdays also?
No, we used to do the second and fourth Saturdays was Dungeon Delvers.
Right, Dungeon Delvers.
Yeah. So, as for Summerfest, we will have our standard commemorative screenshots. So we're going to be doing 2 of those across the weekend, plus also the 2 parades on 2 different days, 2 different time slots. So maybe folks that may not get the earlier one can come to the later one. Summer parade is a little bit more crazy. There's a lot of folks with summer glams that's encouraged the whole time. throughout the event. And then, of course, we are bringing back something that hasn't been done in a few years. Nothing other than Lollaball.
Yeah.
That's not on TBA schedule. I'm excited for it.
Lollaball.
It's not
Everybody
Lollaball!
currently.
Level your PK, go get Malediction of Water from Swallow's Compass, and then join the fun.
Very, very soon there will be an announcement going out that's kind of a heads up to level that Blue Mage. Kind of meant to do it a little bit earlier than now, but just been running behind on a couple things. It's setting up something like this is a pretty big effort. So we've got a lot of different things kind of in the works right now, and at the time of this recording, the schedule does have a lot of TBAs to be announced on it, but they'll be filling out with like each day as we get towards Summerfest, and then like a huge chunk of them are going to show up all at once really soon. So I'm almost done with all that. But recently, Lollaball is not on the thing yet at the time of this recording, but it will be soon. But recently, our Super Summer Maze Race got added, and that's on there now, and that's going to be happening during Summerfest.
I wish to be horrified.
And yes,
I don't do it because I just get lost in there and never finish it, and it's not worth my time. Well, that said, if you've never done it before, experience it.
It's the experience of the maze, because what we have set up is it's a 3-story maze in a mansion in 14, using walls and a few different pieces of furnishings to kind of accomplish a pseudo theme to each floor. This time there's a new theme, all new theme. The mansion was totally gutted completely, and right now it's actually just walls that are all stacked up, and what I call the infinity door, which is all the doors are all put in one line, so you can run through them, and it sounds like a machine gun going off.
Nice.
With them like opening and closing, but it's gonna be completely decked out in a very special theme. I don't want to tell everybody what that is, but it's kind of like 3-in-1 again, and maybe the bottom floor won't be the hard one this time. Who knows? We'll see. There's gonna be some surprises in that maze, so
the maze is always great.
Yeah.
The 1 year I wouldn't necessarily suggest to people was the Rainbow Maze year.
Oh yeah,
that was just a sensory overload.
We've had that a couple times. The very first time we had it, I think it was like in 2016, and somebody called it the Azure Seizure Hut. And and we had a streamer doing and he was doing it on the stream on Twitch, and he was doing it in first person, and he actually quit because he started getting like he started like throwing up and had to stop, so that he got defeated by the maze. And
that was before my time, but I've heard the legends, and I've seen the descendants of Azure Rainbow Maze.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we had the Easter one where it was basically the maze that we had left up from like a previous year, and then we hid like Easter eggs in it and made.
Yeah, you had to find all the eggs to actually finish, not just make your way through.
The fun thing was that they weren't. There is no egg item that you can really place, but what we had was these little. They're the little incense burner things, and they're shaped like an egg. So we colored those and then put those in there and faced them in a direction that made them look like an egg. So that was that was kind of fun for Easter. But now it's been totally gutted, and the whole thing is completely empty, and it's going to be ready come next weekend. And
major props to whoever is going to be building our maze this year. They're always super impressive, and I'm sure take a lot of effort to get set up correctly. So,
that would be me. Thank you.
Yeah, I assumed as much, but I wasn't entirely sure.
Yeah,
that last one was nice. That was fun.
Yeah. This one is gonna have a bit more like surprises in it, and it's instead of just like walls and doors, there's gonna be some more features, like how last time where you went down into the bottom level and it was kind of like an overgrown factory kind of thing. This time you'll know exactly what it is when you see it. You're gonna be like, oh crap, it's that.
If I start hearing John Williams music, I'm gonna giggle for the record.
Yeah, it's something, and so I hope everybody is really surprised. So like I said, if you're listening to this, please come check it out. Even if mazes aren't for you, even if you don't want to find all the hidden items and everything, it is an experience. It's almost like a haunted house at the same time as being a maze and a race at the same time. So,
like the jump scare door.
We're gonna be doing
the
a couple
jump
things.
scare door.
Yes, that's true. That's true. The jump scare door. Yep, that's right. That was a thing. And outside of the maze, so it's related to what we were talking about. Lollaball. Lollaball, if you're wondering, is a it's
chaos.
It's a very chaotic game that is sort of based on soccer, but we use a
imagine Rocket League with Lalafels as the ball.
Yeah, a Lalafell is the ball. And in order to move said Lalafell, you have to be a blue mage and use Malediction of Water, and and so you're gonna have to make sure that you have that one in your arsenal. And
no Lalas were hurt during the making of this game.
And there are two
disclaimer.
Very obvious goals. There's a red goal and there's an azure goal and a crimson goal on the sides, and it's kind of shaped like an arena, like an actual field for like a little sports field. So so we'll have a I don't know who it'll be. I don't know if it'll be our chairmeister or not, but we'll have a Lalafell.
Let's be honest, it's going to be Lagnus.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
We will have a Lalafell present for the ball, and then whoever wants to come play, just make sure you have Blue Mage leveled. And what level is Malediction of Water?
I believe that is 60.
60? Okay.
It's one of the Stormblood ones. You need a bit more than 60. It's from Shisui of the Violet Tides.
Oh, it's from Shisui?
Swallow's Compass.
Wait.
Swallow's Compass.
Swallow's Compass.
Swallow's Compass, yeah.
All right, yeah. So yeah, as you heard them, it is from Swallow's Compass. So make sure that you get that one in your arsenal and level that blue mage to 60, so you can come play Lullabell. Also, if you don't have a blue mage and you just want to see the event, it's wide open for everybody to be able to spectate too. The location will be announced, and we're kind of keeping that under wraps because we don't, as we come and go while we're working on the maze, we don't really want people coming to see the maze while it's halfway made and find the items ahead of time, because sometimes you got to run outside the market board, and we don't want to unlock it. So, but like I said, there's some other surprises too. And if you remember that one year, there was actually a maze outside to get into the maze, the inner maze.
Oh, so, yeah, yes.
Yeah, so mazes upon mazes upon mazes. Quadruple maze.
Amazing.
It's rather amazing, if I do say so myself.
There's a couple surprise events on the list, as well as, like I said, returning Azure Day favorites and Summerfest combinations. Some people have been asking. We are not bringing back Trivia Rush, so that is officially retired. Officially retired, but that does not mean that something crazy will not be in its place, so stay tuned.
Are we doing Company Feud again?
Company Feud!
You know what? I didn't have that in the cards this time, but now that we have the Azure event venue and Mist, thanks to Major, that might be possible.
Speaking of in the cards, I did happen to notice a certain cards-based theme was on the list.
My favorite event of any Azure festival.
AKA, how degenerate are we?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Cards Against Eorzea will be returning, so we'll have some prizes for that as well again. That's always a good time. So, but just pace yourself during the day, because it's easy to get really exhausted right before then.
Yeah, it's
I think we need the 18 plus disclaimer here.
Last time,
that is very much an 18 plus.
I myself made it to the very end there on that first day for the last Azure Day, and as soon as we got to Cards Against Eorzea, I did one round and died, and then everybody else kept going. But it was a good time. It was a good time, and
wasn't it the last Azure feud that you learned about the Bad Dragon ice cream?
No, that was during Dungeon Delvers.
That was Dungeon Delvers.
Because two teams were named Bad Dragon or Bad Dragon Ice Cream, and Reika had to announce the winner, and it was Team Bad Dragon delved the deepest.
Yes, that was a actual quote that was said in game at a very cursed moment at Azure Day a long time ago, and
it was very beautiful.
It was great.
And now it's immortalized in a podcast.
Claudia, I remember the time that Claudia didn't know what Uppies was. It was great.
Oh yeah,
I think that was the same day too.
See, that's
it wasn't the same day, but it was not very far.
You gotta watch those Dungeon Delver teams. You never know what name they're gonna pick, and then
right,
they're gonna pick something for me to say specifically, like on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so yes, when we do our summer parade, everybody's welcome to bring summer glams, as much fireworks as possible. Maybe since Moonfire, I think, is Moonfire Fair gonna still be available? I think it is on the first day. Doesn't
it runs until the 26th.
Okay, this is a very rare moment in history because I think most, if not all, of our past, I mean, I don't know, we could check old dates, but most, if not all, of our past last 6 Summerfests have always happened right as Moonfire Fair ended because we always picked the last weekend of the month. And this is one of those rare moments where like that big gigantic tower is still going to be available for like a final day. So what if we do a Parker Panic Moonfire Fair event?
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
It'd have to be on Friday.
Yeah, it would have to be on Friday, but it is possible. It is possible. So
I enjoy.
We'll see. We'll see. For those that don't know, Parkour Panic is our premier Azure Day jump puzzle parkour event that has folks kind of panicking to get to a specific spot while racing each other doing parkour for usually something big. We've actually done Parkour Panic before for a house. we've given out real estate for prizes in the past when it was a lot easier to do, but still
it was a lot easier to get houses.
Find some fun stuff for folks to panic over. Maybe we'll do that.
It wasn't necessarily easier to get houses, but it was easier to get up to the top of the Moonfire Tower. Like,
maybe we should do something with the Rangers stuff, like a Ranger Pose group or something, something fun like that.
Ooh.
Might be an interesting opportunity because there's going to be so many people around. There might be a chance to do something like that. Who knows? So yeah, we're kind of coming up with ideas here live on the podcast while you guys listen.
I'm sure we're going to do darts as we always do. One of my personal favorites events.
Well, see, that's the fun thing. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's the fun thing about Summerfest. Not any, but a lot of the traditional Azure Day favorites get mixed up together. So you might have like Need for Speed's darts or something.
Oh my god!
Depending on where you jump, depends on what dungeon you have to run.
Yeah, I loved when we did the trivia rush into dungeons. Like,
that was actually well received, and it was a last minute idea.
It was really good.
Yeah, I made that up on the fly, and people liked that. So we might be onto something there. So, hey, never know. Do what flash raffle dungeon speedgens or something.
Just everything together.
Depending on what flash raffle number you roll, depends on what dungeon you have to run, and whoever gets out first wins a prize. Interesting ideas.
Prize.
Interesting. See, if folks want to know how do we design these things, especially the games for these special weekends, it begins with me usually trying to figure out how much I could make everyone suffer.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's about right.
And not just suffer, but in the most hilarious way possible.
Suffer, but still enjoy yourself the entire time. Just be like, God damn it, I love it.
Yep.
But also have some shock value, like, something that nobody expects, something very random thrown in, so they'll hear about a race or a contest or some kind of trivia thing, but then something really incredible is like thrown in out of nowhere. Like when we did Trivia Rush, it was like a race at the same time, but also had like RPG mechanics. The Demon Wall, for example.
I love the Demon Wall and the Tomberry, and Trivia Rush will probably be my favorite.
Yeah, this is saying it won't come
back. People leaving having not used the ultimate sword of erasing. Like,
the ultimate sword that Misty kept. Yeah, I remember that. Misty still has the ultimate sword of ultimateness.
Yes. Yes.
The other thing too was like, so when we had the surprise mechanic for the first one we brought Trivia Rush back a couple years ago was the Demon Wall, and then came more. We had the More Ball using Bad Breath and some other FF traditional type mechanics that were in there. So games like that are interesting to kind of come up with. Although the one thing I felt like we didn't really ever have enough folks to make it like one bigger solid game. It was usually like maybe 5 or 6, which was fine. It was designed for like up to 15 to play, so it would be like really chaotic with all the boxes going off and all the boxes that were there were basically like the Mario Kart idea. So you would you go through the box and get a perk or something. But that is the second or third rendition of Trivia Rush. Trivia Rush actually began in 2018. During a very special server-wide event that we hosted called the Grand Azure Ball, where we invited multiple FCs to come for a 3-tiered event that took place over an afternoon. The first half we had like a bunch of like glamour shots and like everybody was encouraged to wear like fancy garb and then like do like the dances and stuff like that to actually look like a like a grand ball of some kind. And then we would do flash raffles and had some speeches and things, and we forged some alliances there. And then we had like another phase where we actually did a couple like Azure Day style games, and a lot of people loved it. We had Anna Banana Chan as a guest.
Banana.
Like shout outs to Anna Banana.
Anna Banana.
Anna is actually back again. Now, though she didn't really go anywhere, but she changed her name, so now the name is back to Anna Banana Chan, but now it's Anna Banana Nana Chan or something, because I guess
Anna Banana Nana
the original name was taken or something. I have no idea, but yeah. So with Trivia Rush, it's actually evolved since 2018. So we've had events that are really popular at Azure Day, and then we've had some that might have been, quick inventions at other times, and then they were forged into these like really unique events or fused together, some of them. But those are just a few that come to mind. So we're going to see a handful of those at the event this coming weekend. This is August 25th through 27th. Each day, events begin at noon. That doesn't mean you have to be there at noon. It just means that's when they begin. So they're going to be running hourly with a couple breaks in the days spread in between, so people have some breathing room there. And they're going to run really, really super late because that's what we do. And
also, as a note, noon Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that. It does say that on the program.
And sometimes we do fall behind or get ahead of schedule sometimes, just based on how
I don't think I've ever seen us get ahead of schedule.
I wouldn't say ahead. No, it's what it is.
We've been ahead when we've had to cut an event because we were too far behind.
If we have the opportunity to get ahead,
technically correct,
we'll take our time until we catch up to the time that it's supposed to take place. So we don't like skip an event forward usually. But if we do get a little bit behind, we'll usually find a way to catch back up, and it's possible. So, worst case scenario, you plan to attend a certain event and it just hasn't happened just yet. But if you wait around a little bit, it'll be ready, and then we'll catch back up real quick. But we try to make sure that at least some of the biggest things are as perfect as they can be. The screenshot gatherings, a lot of people will make time to attend those like the most, so they can get in the really big shots. So we're going to be doing a really big, at least 2 really big summer screenshots. So if you want to be immortalized in Azure history and be a part of the Summerfest screenshot, this is your opportunity, since the next one's not really going to be until Anniversary Azure Day in November, unless you get in our Halloween shot in October.
Speaking of, I think this is the first time I've had a screenshot I was in a banner for an event. And I'm in like 3 of them this time. Yay!
Oh, really? Yeah. I went through the Discord and just put in the dates of last year's Summerfest, and actually took a whole bunch of really nice shots and threw them into the banner. So you can find that banner with the program guide at azureinfinitum.com on our community site, where there's the official Summerfest 2023 program guide. It's like I said, it's slowly filling in, and there's a lot of information about the event too that you can read ahead of time. Just kind of get an idea of how it happens if you haven't attended an Azure Day or a Summerfest before. It's a really great place to start.
My favorite game is play Where is Glitch?
Yeah.
Where is Glitch? Yes.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have like a mixture, a pretty good mixture of things this time. And we've got that extra day because Summerfest is the one and only 3-day special event that we do, which is absolutely insane. I have no idea why we're this crazy, but
I would say I have no idea how you managed to stay alive over that 3 days.
I think that me and you, I'm pretty sure that at least one of us have mentally said, Reika, go the fuck to sleep.
You guys say that all the time.
I've said it literally directly to her. What?
But the thing is it's a very special ability, and it is honed through years and years and years of consuming ranch dressing. So you have to follow the way of the Hidden Valley in order to learn this technique to be able to stay awake that long, and to become that powerful. one must know the Hidden Valley.
You have to learn those jutsu and be from the village hidden in the valley.
And they promise this is not a ranch cast. So, moving on, let's go ahead and what's that?
Reika, what you need is the sticker on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a to describe it for the podcast. It is a Princess Luna holding a bat that says melatonin, and it says looks like it's past your bedtime.
Yep.
I could use that.
Wouldn't stop her either way though, but
yeah.
No, it would not.
Yeah. Who am I kidding? It wouldn't stop her.
Well, it's only going to make that worse is games like Starfield, which I'm really looking forward to and want to play soon. That is going to be the meat of this podcast outside of Summerfest, so hopefully those that are still with us will find some interest in what we're about to bring up here, and that's a little bit of some games that are coming out or are out right now. I know, I think, what is it, today or tomorrow, the folks can preload the game if you're on PC or Xbox?
I think so.
You know what's funny? Not a lot of people know this, but over at like IGN, for example, they were avoiding writing Xbox in the title of an article that was about preloading because the SEO is so powerful, the SEO is so powerful that it'll actually cause PlayStation gamers to like not want to click it, and so they were telling people that some consoles can preload it, and then it caused like a little bit of confusion where people thought they could preload it on like almost anything, and so people were trying to figure out exactly where you could preload Starfield. But so far as I know, it's PC and Xbox. So
PlayStation is usually a little bit behind on preloading in general.
Talk about that, and then we also want to talk about a very, very, very welcome surprise that released recently. And I say surprise, we knew it was coming. It's surprise because a lot of things aren't this good lately. Baldur's Gate 3, definitely something that is a great addition to
my god, we got a AAA title release that was complete at launch?
Yeah.
Goat game.
What?
Very rare and very needed.
Everyone's so mad.
By the way, this podcast is a mimic. Roll initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So before we geek out too much on Baldur's Gate 3, let's talk a little bit about Starfield first. Who here with us is actually planning to play through Starfield?
Me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's at least 4 of us.
I'm not sure when, because Armored Core 6 comes out a week from today as well. So I'm not sure when, but I will get to it for sure.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's
Core
a
6.
maybe. I don't trust Bethesda as far as I can throw it.
You don't trust Bethesda?
True.
I've had too many games go sideways.
Modders will figure it out.
I was gonna say, as a console player, I am not particularly enthused.
Is it the glitches?
The console ports are not so great.
Is it
They just never fix console things. Like
okay,
the modders will fix it on the modders. Not even just 76, all the way back to Fallout 3. New Vegas, like every game Bethesda has ever released on a console, Morrowind, everything. Like,
yeah, thinking back
they still have that bug in there in Oblivion where if you play over 100 hours, it'll fucking start crashing.
Yep. Same thing with like Fallout New Vegas on every console. The more it wasn't a specific hour thing. It was every time you manually save, your save file gets bigger, and once it gets big enough, it just won't. It'll just start crashing randomly.
That's what I heard about Skyrim on PS3 too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happened on PS3. Happened on the PS4 re-release too.
Do you guys remember Skyrim on the PS3? That was rough. I remember
Give me
that.
Elder Scrolls 6, you cowards.
They could take their time with that one.
That's gonna be like 10 more years.
Yeah. They could take their time with it.
I actually like the Elder Scrolls games.
I like the lore of the Elder Scrolls games. I don't like the gameplay very much.
I need more Sheogorath in my life.
If you're gonna give me,
that's a good segue because
if you give me a first-person shooter game, make it a first-person shooter, not a first-person crappy melee.
That's fun. Yeah. That's funny because like I will only go first person in Elder Scrolls if I'm like trying to see something up close, but I usually play in third person. It's kind of a crappy third person, but
I kind of go back and forth just to look around. But my default, I think, is first person.
Yeah,
it was like that in Fallout 3 as well.
Oh yeah, looking around, yeah, that makes sense.
The default has to be first person in general because the view range is so bad when you're in third person.
And plus, picking stuff up too is much easier.
Yeah, you can't specifically talk. You picked up this skeleton bone. I did not mean to do that. I wanted this gold that was next to it.
Oh yeah, that's a really common thing. Like accidentally picking up.
I drank out of the toilet. I was trying to pick up this. Pack of like pistol ammo, but nope. Yeah. My wastelander just decided, irradiated toilet water. Yummy, yummy.
Slurp, slurp.
Yeah, so to me, it's Starfield. As long as it's Skyrim in space, I'm totally fine with that.
I think that's what a lot of people are expecting.
Just give me that.
Yeah. That's fair.
It's almost certainly gonna be.
Yeah,
I don't see any issues with the gameplay loop or whatever. I'm just concerned with bugs for people who are gonna play it.
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea. I usually pick up Bethesda games years later.
The ship gameplay though looks not bad. I heard recently like you actually have the ability to like use it to store items and smuggle if you want to.
Sweet.
Like
it'd have like a smuggler soul.
It could be Han Solo basically.
I'm just wishing that it was
Han Solo. Then nobody is Han Solo.
I'm just wishing that it was like drop in, drop out multiplayer. Maybe like 4 people.
Yeah,
like No Man's
Sky.
That would be sweet.
But you know why they're not doing that? Because they want to repackage that as Starfield 76 at some point.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
So like, can you name the ships in Starfield?
I hope so.
I would hope. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I wanna name it the Millennium Falcon.
No, you gotta have the flap flap.
The flap flap.
Oh yeah,
flap flap.
Yeah,
flap flap.
It's gotta be. You gotta have the majestic flap flap.
Yep.
The majestic space flap flap.
Oh, space.
The HMS go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah, space flap flap. Yeah.
Space
So we got Starfield 76, or what about No Man's Field?
Yeah.
No Man's Starfield.
Don't bring those vibes around here. No, we're not gonna talk about that game at launch.
Hey,
I got something to look forward to.
I was gonna say, No Man's Sky got good. It just took them like almost a year.
That's what I mean. Like,
really a fan of that game either, but I do know that it got better at some point. But I don't really care because it.
It's not my kind of game either. But
yeah, the idea was great at first, but I don't know. I'm much more happy with a game like Starfield because it's like it doesn't have to be online for me. I get enough online with the MMOs, but it's what I wanted. It's a sci-fi Elder Scrolls Fallout Bethesda game, and I hope it's good. I hope it's not like horrible.
Yep, just give me Fallout 3 in space, and I'm good.
Yep.
Wouldn't that just be Dead Space?
No, because it's not necessarily like a horror. per
Oh,
se.
is it Dead Space? Dead Space is
Dead Space definitely does not play like Elder
Dead
Scrolls.
Space is Dead Space is
horror game.
It's Resident Evil in space.
Yeah,
that's sci-fi Resident Evil in space.
That's
it's Resident Evil 4 specifically in space. Yeah.
I've never played Resident Evil 4.
Oh no, you're missing out.
Classic.
Do you?
Yeah, go play that.
You
go
play
play
the other
that.
ones?
It's on everything now. Go play it.
I don't play horror games.
They just
usually.
remastered it.
Well, then play it as an action game.
Speaking of
because
Resident
it's that
Evil 4,
too.
I am one trophy away from 100%ing it.
It's worth playing though, Glitch.
The remaster of RE4 on PS4/5.
It's the
remake. I guess
it's not the no. It's not the remake. It's not the remake. It's the original one put on PS4.
Oh, the classic version. Okay.
Yeah.
I tested
Still
out.
great. That game holds up to this day. I think
RE4.
Got Resident Evil 7.
RE4 is a banger.
It's a trophy for
doing
the shooting gallery or whatever at the end or whatever.
Oh, I feel like the best version of that game was the Wii version.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was a good version, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it came out on PS2, it came out on GameCube, it came out on Wii, all around the same time. And if you wanted, like, the chainsaw controller that you could buy, that was super expensive, you had to buy it for every console, because whatever.
The chainsaw controller.
Yeah,
that controller was so yes.
Okay.
It was so unwieldy, but it was so cool. It was the worst thing to play a game on.
Yes.
But it was so cool.
I can't imagine going through the whole thing with that. So props to whoever did that. The GameCube one was the first one I played. So
I was in art school and my roommate had it on PS2 and he beat that game backwards and forwards, and then I bought it on GameCube. And then later I got it on PC because it came on PC not very long after the console versions, if I'm remembering correctly.
It was
maybe like a year or two.
I was gonna say like a year or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
which back then was pretty quick.
Speaking of GameCube, really quick before we move on, there was a game that it's like because Resident Evil 4, I think was it? Yeah, I think it was the first Resident Evil that I really like actually played, and because I was watching a friend play it. Funny thing was there was another game that was kind of like a horror game on GameCube. It was really, really super good. That does not get mentioned enough. And
Eternal Darkness?
Eternal Darkness, yeah.
Oh, Sanity's Requiem, hell yeah.
Actually, like if you look on lists for like mind-bending games or underrated horror games or whatever, that one usually does make an appearance. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like in the mainstream, yeah, you don't really see it too much.
Not
but
so
if you're
much
looking at specific lists, it's always on those lists.
Yeah.
If they just straight ported it, it wouldn't hit as hard today because TV volume bars and everything look different.
Oh yeah, true. Well, maybe they could like do something to make it look more modern if there was a.
Oh, they totally could.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like on most modern TVs, like when you plug your PS5 into it, it goes, "Oh, PlayStation input," and it says PS5, or you plug your Xbox into it, it literally says Xbox.
Yeah.
Maybe they could use that API that's in your TV to kind of make it match the UI. That'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of akin to what you call it, a Psycho Mantis reading your memory card in Metal Gear, something like that. You know.
Oh yeah, or you could maybe for the smart TVs you can do like voice controls, like something could come out of the speaker, or it would like start, looking like a ghost was talking to your microphone on the TV or something. That'd be interesting. But back to Starfield. Let me see here. I don't know a ton about it. I watched just a little bit of Starfield Direct the very first time they did it.
I've been avoiding a lot of it too. Yeah, I don't really want to see it.
I did that a lot mainly because I want to be surprised.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Starfield, from everything I've seen, both just from the reveals and from having a chance to sit down with some of the devs back in the spring, I'm honestly impressed with everything I've been shown so far. I'm cautiously impressed, but I'm impressed.
And you know what? Like we were saying, like Bethesda's due. Like I think they're due for just a Bethesda game.
Exactly.
Without any extra strings or controversy, just a game. So I think they're due.
So the one thing I will say though is quite obvious how much the devs and testers were fans of not classic but older sci-fi shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's good too.
So like if you watch some of the revealed stuff, there are some very recognizable ships in the design concepts they showed. It's Nora was there. I was calling some of them out live.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was gonna say maybe this will be the Bethesda game that just works.
No.
That's enough. Works well enough. As long as it's like Fallout 3, Skyrim launch type stuff, I'm fine with that. Just give me that in space, I'm good.
I'm honestly thinking that Starfield is going to launch in a better state than a lot of their other games because, and I say this reluctantly as a PlayStation player, because they cut out PlayStation.
So maybe they got to focus more on the things that they're actually working on.
Basically, like PC architecture straight up.
Because as a person that's worked on multi-plat games at once before, I worked on Fear 2, and that was on the PC, the 360, and the PS3, and our flagship SKU was the PC, and then the 360. And every other week we would work on the PS3 one, and I kid you not, when they would announce on Monday that, okay, everybody fire up your PS... There was an audible groan in that entire studio when we had to fire up that PS3 dev kit. Everyone hated it.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of like screwed with the other versions, too.
The system
so you're right.
Was terrible.
Not because PlayStation is bad in and of itself, but because the PS3 architecture was
that's a
uniquely garbage.
Yeah,
like it was great for what it was.
Developed for.
Yeah, but it was also especially hard to port for. Like if you're like, I'm developing this for PC and we're going to put it on consoles. Yeah, PlayStation's going to fight you every step of that way.
Yeah.
But it was relevant to what you were saying because it was it was another SKU that we had to account for. We couldn't just focus on like these two SKUs, So it was like it kind of split up our time. But yeah.
So, all right. We have Starfield coming pretty soon here. Definitely want to give some like first impressions, maybe on the next podcast.
I do have a question actually about Starfield.
Yeah.
What is everyone going to do for their ship design?
I'm gonna have to do the Firefly.
Firefly class transport from Nora. Shocking.
It's got to be a space penis. It's.
Oh my god!
I knew someone was gonna say it.
It has to be.
To be fair, that's half of NASA's designs inadvertently.
Right.
I mean, if I was able to, I would do the Normandy.
Did you guys see that?
You can do the Normandy. That was one of the demo ships.
Yeah, that was one of the demo ships.
Really?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
It is 110% from the ground up. You can build with any of the modules.
Okay, I'm definitely playing this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just need to find the time.
I'm going to give some people nightmares by saying this.
What's that?
I'm either going to do the Lewis and Clark, or I'm going to do the Event Horizon.
Okay, the Event Horizon would be cool.
Yeah, I was going to say Event Horizon.
Lewis and Clark, though?
Why not the Lewis and Clark? That's a very cool little rescue ship.
Yeah, but if you're choosing between that and the Event Horizon...
There's a lot of cool ships to choose from, actually.
What was Dash Rendar's ship?
Oh my!
In Shadows of the Empire?
Oh my!
I kind of want to make something like that. Something that's like goofy as hell to fly. I kind of want to make it.
I don't remember the name of.
The Outrider.
Oh my
Outrider. It's a YT-2400.
Yeah. What was the name of his ship?
You literally said what was on my mind. I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Dude, Shadows of the Empire was lit.
Oh my god!
I'm putting it in the chat for you. It's there's the information about the Outrider.
Screw Dash Rendar's ship. Make Kyle Katarn's ship.
That is
true.
Yes. But you can't really store too much in his ship, though, right? It was like a two-seater.
Oh my god! I'm
gonna be honest. If I do a Star Wars ship, it's gonna be a Super Capital.
I almost fell out of my chair when you said Dash Rendar because I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it earlier. Like, I want to make some like goofy kind of combat cargo ship, something that looks like it's a pain to fly because it is. I kind of want to make something like that.
Yeah, because I was thinking of smuggling, and I was like, well, people are going to think of like the Falcon, obviously, and then I was like, well, what's another one that's like not as known by a lot of like
the Moldy Crow.
Oh yeah,
but it's not really a cargo ship though. This is kind of like a heavy fighter.
No. It is very much a swift movement ship.
Yeah,
because Kyle and Jan were smugglers after he left the Imperial Academy.
I think I mentioned this on another podcast, but like I was like like we totally don't need to get into another Star Wars cast here, but
we can do that real easy.
Like that
especially when we're talking good Star Wars, like the Legend stuff.
But good Star Wars. When just real quick about Death Stranding is like when I was a kid, like I think I mentioned this on another podcast. I prided myself on the fact that I was able to like go to school and tell kids facts about the extended universe. These kids had seen just the movies, and I had like I was reading the books at home. But I was like a young reader, like I was like 6 reading through like Dark Force Rising and stuff like that. And
Sick.
so going to school, I was like, yeah, did you know Han Solo and Leia had like 3 Jedi kids and all this stuff happened, all this stuff that's not in the movie. And they're like, what? You're lying, and then I'd like prove it, and they're like, oh, you're so cool. So like for me, it was like Shadows of the Empire was like another thing that they didn't know existed. I was obsessed with Shadows of the Empire.
Me too.
And
there were a lot of people who got Shadows of the Empire.
Game.
They only knew it because of the action figures that they released briefly.
That or the N64 game, which was actually pretty good.
It was good for an N64 game. It wasn't quite Rogue Squadron, but it was good.
Yeah, and so there was this one time where like I was like begging my parents for like Dash Render ship. Because they actually made one, and I was like, oh, I gotta get that, I gotta get that. And then I think I got it, and I was like so happy, and I had a little Dash Rendar figure.
I had that too.
Oh my god, you had that too?
Yeah, I had that Dash Rendar, that Kenner figure.
Yep.
From the Power of the Force collection. Let's go.
So just now, I was thinking on the way back then to that, like right when you said Outrider, and I was like, oh my god, I was just thinking of that. I almost fell to my chair.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Great ship.
Yep. Okay, so let's see here. So we're all looking forward to Starfield. There's a bunch of us that are definitely planning on playing it soon. Now, I think Baldur's Gate 3 had an early access recently, or a beta.
It's fully out now. It's fully out now.
Oh, it's fully out now.
It's not. It's not out on everything. PlayStation doesn't get it until September.
It's out.
But
PC Master Race.
It's out.
But before its release, though, it was either a beta or early access.
2 years.
Yeah, it was in early access for 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 2 years for early access.
2 years. Yep.
So in that time, how many of you guys here were able to check that out?
So
I didn't play it.
I had it for 2 years. I bought it when they first went to early access, but I decided to just hold off and leave it so I was completely unspoiled for full release.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of avoided it.
Was the early access like a large portion of the game, or?
It was just Act 1, supposedly.
Which is huge. Act 1 is about 40 to 60 hours, yeah.
Oh, that's like an entire game. Holy crap.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Wow.
In a good way, though.
Okay.
And they brought back the best companion.
The character creator is really nice looking.
Yes.
Best companion who has been in all 3 Baldur's Gates game. Hells yeah. And he's mostly the best because he comes with his sidekick, Boo. Talk about Minsk.
The hamster. Boo's the hamster.
Go for the eyes, Boo. The eyes.
Oh, for the eyes.
Also, it's part of why I say butt kicking for goodness, and Squeaky Wheel gets the kick, and you point, I punch.
Oh my gosh.
He's a ranger who talks like he's a barbarian.
And for the record, barbarian builds are completely broken in this game. They're hilarious. Everybody should play barbarian at least once.
I have a barbarian.
Eldritch Knight.
You don't even need weapons. You just throw everybody at everybody else.
So
yeah, it sounds like a barbarian.
So this one is directly connected to 2, or is it like a prequel?
What?
Nope, directly connected to 2.
Directly connected. Okay.
Yeah, it takes place a while after, though, right?
2.
Like a long while after.
Oh, okay.
The people who traveled with the Bale spawn in 2 aren't traveling together anymore. That's why you get like Jaheira and Minsk separately.
Has everybody here been like hands on with it, but me?
I haven't played 3.
I
haven't played 3, but I don't have a PS5, so I'm not going to be playing 3 anytime soon. Okay. So I've just been reading up on it because, oh my god, I loved 1 and 2 on PC back in the day.
Yeah, I'll probably get it on PC eventually down the road.
I need to find my discs for 1 and 2.
Baldur's Gate 1 on PC is like a 5 or 6 disc install. It's so crazy.
I know. I had the box sets at some point.
I have a Dark Alliance on the PS2.
Oh, that was good. That was basically like a Gauntlet Legends kind of game.
Yeah, it's more like that. Yeah.
I worked
Gauntlet
for
Legends if you can actually equip stuff.
Yeah, I worked at Wizards of the Coast when those games were current, when Baldur's Gate 2 was current. So I just remember selling that game from time to time, and I wasn't playing it back then. I was just getting into RPGs. I wasn't ready for that full D&D hardcore dive, but I remember selling that game a lot, and we sold a lot of copies of it. I remember that specifically.
Oh, you were working for like Wizards when it was still the Wizard store. Before
Yeah, when it was a store. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was there when they closed too.
Gatekeeper and everything.
Yep. Selling Kadu, Cranium Kadu. Remember that game?
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's the game we were pushing. And anything Dungeons and Dragons, we were pushing too. But yeah, good times.
I hear a lot of people are saying that if you really, really enjoy Dragon Age Origins, you'll really enjoy Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys find that to be pretty true, or
IGN had a really good review, and at the end, that's what they said. They were like, "There hasn't been a game like this, to carry that mantle forward since Dragon Age Origins." And they were like, "This is the first time since then." So it's been 14 years because that came out in 2009.
I can't believe how old that game is now.
Well, I mean, Divinity 2 is basically this game, but with a different skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So, like,
they've learned
we've had
from all of their development, so like.
Oh yeah, no, it looks like it's a phenomenal game. It doesn't play like the first two, so if you like the first two for their gameplay, you might not like this one. But if you like the first two for the world building and the story and the character interactions, the gameplay is better.
Yeah, like this is unmistakably D&D. Like.
Yep.
Yeah.
so is it all like top-down view, or?
It can be. If you push O, you can go into tactical mode and play it top down.
Oh,
Yeah,
But you're not gonna.
you can go isometric if you want to.
Yeah.
Just saw like
You can
some
zoom way in, zoom
screenshots
way out.
on online where it's like somebody was like in made like a third-person mode or something.
It's usually in third person.
Oh, it usually
default.
is. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, but you can push O when you're in combat, and it'll be like a top-down, like ogre battle type thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I saw a lot of screenshots that looked, like back, Baldur's Gate 2. With it was kind of looking like that, and then I was like thinking, like, oh, it's probably like that, but just like updated greatly, But with third person is nice.
Yeah, and also fun fact, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I started playing Planescape Torment because I've been hearing about that game since the 90s.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh,
I totally get why people loved it back then.
That's been on my to-do list.
It's great.
that's a great game.
You can get it for like $3 on GOG
It's
or someplace like that.
super cheap. Yeah.
I think I got it on Green Man Gaming for like $2.50.
Yeah.
So it's worth picking up.
There was some weird bundle, I think on PS4, where it's like, hey, you get Planescape Torment and Icewind Dale is the same thing.
That's the one I was just about to mention. It's on the same disc. There's a physical copy too.
And I'm like, dude, no, Icewind Dale should go with Baldur's Gate stuff, not Planescape. Like,
Yeah.
It's a weird
it's the
combination.
same kind of engine, but it's not the same kind of world at all.
I think whoever put that together is just like suggesting it, like, hey, if you like this, you might like this, but they don't really go together.
Yeah. I started playing it
feels
because
like
I was
they just bought the license and went, hey, we've got all these games, and we want to release them in packs of 2.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing Disco Elysium, and everyone's like, "This is the closest game to Planescape," and I'm like, "That game again? That game keeps coming up." So I just went and bought it and started playing it.
Oh, Disco
I haven't
Elysium
played
won a
Disco
lot
Elysium,
of
but
awards.
I've heard that's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
It looks really good. Yeah.
yeah. Back at when we were doing the Game Awards episodes and stuff like that, like there was a lot of mentions of Disco Elysium at those awards.
I think it
shows.
won some stuff.
It
didn't
definitely did win several
Yeah.
categories. Yeah, it did. I think it. I can't remember now, but there might have been a writing category that it won as well for the writing.
It was story category, I think.
Story, yeah. I gotta double check that, but yeah. So that's
I'm
definitely a good one.
I'm thinking Baldur's Gate's going to be nominated for some of that stuff as far as story and whatnot goes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man, no, Baldur's Gate, haven't played it, but everything I
reviews
know
are
about it,
coming out
it's going to
really
be... It's
Rightfully
definitely
so.
a Game of the Year contender.
IGN
For
gave
sure.
it a 10.
And I'm
10 out of 10
excited
IGN.
for it.
And this time that's not a meme. They actually
they really did.
In game.
They really did give it a 10. Yeah.
They had an excellent review of it too. So yeah.
Even if I never play that game, I believe in it.
You will. You would enjoy it thoroughly. You'll play it eventually.
Tommy ain't got no job. I wonder how many of our listeners are actually going to get that reference.
So, with Baldur's Gate 3, is there like a class system?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a full D&D class system. Yeah, from what's the 5th edition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not all the races, but all the classes.
Okay, so like a lot of classes, and it's like the different races you can play as.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
From what I've heard, you can respec people to a certain point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You can respect fairly heavily, actually, with as long as you have the gold for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you
It's
got,
really cool how you unlock that too.
pretty good like character customization and everything.
Yes.
Nice.
And I know Best Boy starts as like a max level ranger. Well, he starts as a level 1 ranger with enough experience to immediately go to max level ranger.
Pretty
And
cool.
also, it might have one of the best video game characters in a game in a long time.
Who's that?
And I'm just barely. It's a character called Karlak. She's one of the.
You've been talking about Karlak. Everybody's been talking about Karlak.
She's the best. She's like one of the best game. She's like one of the best video game characters I've seen in a long time. So yeah.
I haven't had the experience, so I can't say, but it's hard for me to say that they're better than Minsk.
I don't know. I never played the first two, so.
Right, exactly. We are literally at polar opposites of this discussion.
Maybe one of them will get nominated for a character award at Game Awards. Never know.
I'm waiting to see a Karlak warrior glam.
Oh, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to show up at Game Awards.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's nice to get a warrior / fighter character in a Baldur's Gate game, because most of those people suck.
Yeah, and she's barbarian, which I said is completely broken in OP, and you can just throw everybody around the whole game.
I read more in terms
fun.
of like more in terms of like their character just kind of sucks.
Oh no, she's great. I think all the characters. There's not one that I dislike. And actually, my first playthrough, I played as a custom character. I played as a rogue, and then I met the rogue in the game, and I started over because I wanted that rogue in my group. Because I thought he was so cool.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Glowing endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, we're almost to the hour mark. Do we have any other like final comments about Baldur's Gate 3 or?
It's great. Everyone should play
it.
it.
It's absolutely great. Everyone needs to play it. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if that's not normally your zhuzh, if you're not into RPGs or Dungeons and Dragons or any of that crap, you owe it to yourself as a gamer to at least fire it up at least once and just see if you like it or not.
It comes with very high reviews.
Yeah,
like
rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm really glad because we're in that age where there's a lot of older franchises that are getting new entries that aren't so good, and games that are coming out broken and everything. So to see something solid and complete like that, and from a franchise that's retaining its status as being so good.
Yeah,
like Baldur's Gate 2 is so beloved, so it's like
and we won't drag down the podcast talking about the whole controversy with the other devs saying don't be used to this, like we all can't do this.
I was just about to do that. Damn
it. We'll just leave that one alone. It's as whiny and as pathetic as it sounds. We'll just move on.
Fine.
We can go on. That's a whole another hour. But yeah,
it kind of reminded. It's not like totally related, but it reminded me of when I was watching an interview with one of the. It was some of the devs at Respawn, and they were talking about when they made Titanfall 1. They basically just decided
another underrated game.
Yeah, they decided to skip story because they said that they're just tired of players like running through the story in their games and like not appreciating it, and so it's like. Well, that's why you get creative, and then like if you have like collectibles, reasons to replay it. Maybe like better level design, not so I don't know, more fluid kind of like what they did with 2. I mean, I liked Titanfall 2, so
I like both of them. I thought they were pretty solid.
I didn't play a lot of 1 because I didn't have it on Xbox.
Phenomenal, like running around and just getting into it. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Apex Legends happened, and then we didn't hear any more about Titanfall 2. So.
And then EA was
apparently they're in the same universe.
They are.
Apparently
Yes.
they are the same universe.
They are.
Apex
The
is
same.
kind of fun.
Yeah, at
Like,
first it kind of seems weird, but
the running around was more fun than being in a Titan.
yeah.
So like Apex Legends, I understand like the entire, oh my god, this game's so great. I just don't normally like those kind of games, and Titanfall worked. Apex, not as much.
So we need a Loperit for our podcast named Segway, so that way we can segue
Right?
from
Yes.
Titanfall's mix to Armored Core coming out.
Yes.
Armored Core 6.
Yes.
The Rubicon releasing
So
very
looking
soon.
forward to that.
I'll be honest, the last
Speaking of
Armored Core I
Max.
played was 4 answers,
Yep.
so...
Oh, that was a good one.
Last one I played was either Last Breaker or Nine Raven.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Fires of the Rubicon, that is the next in the series. This is a series that's from Software, so that's the Dark Souls devs. And
But like way back in the PS1 days,
yeah.
too. Like,
It goes way back. But ever since Dark Souls happened, in all the Soulsborne games, we just haven't had a good Armored Core, and that's also because the last one was Armored Core 5, and Armored Core 5 Verdict Day didn't really perform that well or feel like Armored Core as much as the really classic PS2 ones did. So here we are hoping for the best for number 6.
I mean, from what I see, it looks fantastic. I never played any of the older ones because the first ones, when they first came out, they just seemed kind of like little cheesy mech games. Like From Software didn't really have like the name like Demon Souls and stuff wasn't a thing yet, so they weren't really on my map. I knew people enjoyed them, and I knew they were kind of kishy, and the people that did enjoy them really enjoyed them, but I never got into them. But I always kind of followed them from a distance. I always kind of kept up with them, kind of. So seeing this one, and this is post From Software becoming From Software. They're also the other golden boys in game development right now. It's them and Lariat are kind of killing it, and Ponicle, the people that do Vampire Survivors, seem to be like the 3 developers that are kind of like the golden boys right now. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I don't have any of the baggage from the previous ones to kind of compare it to. All I know is I love Dark Souls 1 and 3. 2's okay. I like it. But like Bloodborne, all that crap, love all of it. So
Bloodborne is
give me more
is the
From
best.
Software, please.
Don't forget Elden Ring.
So,
Oh yeah,
if
Elden
you've
Ring.
never played an Armored Core game, you are going to be spending a lot of time playing with the customization.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Playing what?
I'm
Very big on customization.
You
me
can
too.
build
Yeah.
your mech from the ground up, pretty
Yeah.
much. It's awesome.
Shoes. You just reminded me to do.
You're constantly rebuilding your mech. I like that they changed
sounds amazing
legs
to me.
from. I like that they changed legs from being like a detrimental thing, like, oh, you got your legs super good and your boost super good,
Yeah, what were you about to say, Glitch?
so you're gonna have no damage at
Shoes
all.
just reminded me that I forgot that I was gonna get back into streaming Elden Ring.
Oh yeah.
I have not beat.
Yeah.
I'm way at the beginning too. I kind of
I
fell by the wayside.
haven't gotten past. I promised that I would never. That I would not continue the story until I beat the Tree Guardian right out the gate.
Okay.
It's a trap.
Too late.
It's a trap.
I worked on it for 8 hours.
Yeah, it's a total trap. You can do it, but it's a trap. And I think they do that just so people get stuck there at the beginning, like just to mess with people, because it is a Souls game at its core,
Yeah.
and they do like and they do like to troll.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like the beginning of Dark Souls with that first boss. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I had this one friend, and he had not heard of Dark Souls yet, and so I fired it up and had him play it, and he thought he was just playing some random hack and slash game. And
No.
oh my god, the boss!
Oh no!
He ran into the first
no.
boss and just like he died, and he's like, "What is this?" Like, he got so mad.
My issue with
Hi, welcome to Dark Souls.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
my
much.
issue to Dark Souls was, you come up to your first campfire, you could attack that guy.
Yeah, and like ruin the entire
will-
rest of your game.
He will constantly be aggro to you until you kill him at least once. So I spent like 3.5 hours learning the game and getting good to beat that asshole.
At the beginning that you accidentally hit.
Yeah, number 1 is so good.
I accidentally swung on a dude and I didn't know.
Well, see, at the time that Armored Core 1 came out on PS1, some of the devs from Software had actually merged from another company. I kind of forgot what that company's name was because it's kind of generic. It was like something else software, and they became From Software. So I don't know if it's because they came from another software. Oh god!
But anyway, they came from two software.
Yeah, I have no idea what software they came from, but From Software was eventually a combination of guys. It was a lot of them had worked on Kingsfield. If any of you know what that is, the very old
Kingsfield is a great classic series.
So for in one way,
I don't recommend going back to play it because we've got way better versions of that same kind of game.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But it was amazing at the time.
Yeah, it's like hard to like now if you're used to like modern Souls games, but there were folks coming into Armored Core who were used to the games that some of those guys had made, like Kingsfield, and now like going back from Armored Core into Souls games, and then from Souls games back to Armored Core. Like I feel like we're always going to go back and forth between Armored Core and Souls games.
Sounds like a nice cadence.
Yeah.
Going back and forth is not a big thing because when was the last actual Armored Core game?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
2013.
I'm glad they're doing that because of Verdict Day. So finally they're doing it, and when that announcement, I think the first announcement came out at was it Game Awards? I think it was Game Awards.
It was Game Awards, yeah.
It was, yeah.
It was one of the first looks.
Yeah. Right before or after we
get to see. Do you think that they'll ever do a remake of Demon Souls?
Demon Souls? They technically did. It's on PS5. Yeah. We're just waiting for the PC version to drop. It's only a matter of time. Yeah, but yeah, Demon Souls got a remaster.
Demon Souls. Yeah,
it was a really good remaster. Yeah,
it was.
Now when are they gonna remaster Bloodborne? Damn it!
What's wrong with Bloodborne as this?
You know why? It's because they know that's gonna sell like crazy. So like if they ever go into a slump or something, then they're gonna bust out Demon Souls. Bloodborne.
They're gonna do Bloodborne.
They're gonna do the exact same thing that Rockstar just recently did with Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yeah,
shot themselves in the foot.
As I say, like if they need to, they'll pull out a Bloodborne remaster while advertising Bloodborne 2.
Right.
Yeah, maybe one can hope.
I don't know. I try to get hyped for all of these Souls games. They're just not for me.
I get you. I would say Elden Ring is good and Bloodborne is good.
I enjoyed how little I was able to play of Elden Ring. Like, it's the farthest I've gotten in any of their games, but that's not saying much.
I would say try Dark Souls 3 if you haven't tried that one.
It's not bad.
Because that one's like a little more...
Yeah.
It makes a little more sense than the rest of them. So maybe that could be like your entryway into it.
I don't know. They explain all the mechanics really, really early.
They do, but Dark Souls 3, it gives you like all the newbie items that you would normally expect in that type of game if you're willing to explore, like the little opening areas. They kind of set you up for success later on.
Well, you could do that in Bloodborne too.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic,
Bloodborne is like 90% learning how to parry. Like, get good, dog.
Well, yeah, Dark Souls 1, it helps a lot if you know how to parry too.
Yeah, all of them.
But you can also just dodge. You can also just dodge roll through a lot of it. But parrying is like a major damage mechanic in Bloodborne.
You kind of need it too in a lot of the games.
I wish I could do. I wish I could go to Dark Souls so that way I could make like a nude run character and name it Gohan.
You totally could.
So she could learn how to dodge.
Yeah.
So I could learn how to dodge.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. I knew where I was going.
I was gonna say, while we're on the Souls topic, what are some Souls-like games that are not from Software that you guys might have played?
Like,
I was gonna say like
Monster Hunter's the big one.
But Sekiro?
Monster Hunter isn't really Souls-like.
Souls is more like Monster Hunter if you think about it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like what games I have that are Souls-like.
Did anybody here play Sekiro?
Yes.
Yeah,
I could. From Soft though.
Huh?
Sekiro, Neo
Yeah,
is
Neo.
also
Neo's another one. Yeah.
You meant Neo, not Sekiro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the two.
I mean,
I
mixed up.
think that I want to try Code Vein.
Yeah,
Code Vein, I hear,
It's
is
been on
actually
the list
that's
for a
not a bad
while.
one. Yeah, Code
Your
Vein is
Neo
basically
is
anime
good.
Souls.
That
It's
game's
Neo's good.
pretty
Yeah.
cheap usually too. You can get it.
Dead Cells is good.
Dead Cells is a completely different kind of game, though.
They got the whole
Oh,
Castlevania
Hollow
thing going on
Knight.
soon too.
Kinda
huh?
though. It's kind of soulsy to me a little bit.
The
Castlevania.
Castlevania Soul thing already
Yeah.
happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole video for it. The did 2D animation, like actual animation for it.
Yeah.
It was great.
It looked really good.
So when I googled what games are Souls like,
Mhm.
Final Fantasy 14 is listed for some ungodly reason.
Why?
I've done
Everybody
my quest,
will
I guess.
call-
What?
Everybody will call anything they can't
That's because of
complete
Savage.
any content in
Ultimate Race.
as Souls-like.
True.
Iron Bubble.
You're
Sorry.
having trouble. You're having trouble. Oh my god.
hmm
What
That's
if we
a
had
Souls-like.
a mecha Souls-like game? Like that'd be interesting.
Armored Core?
I was gonna say literally Armored Core.
I was
Dark
hoping
Mission
that would
Evolved,
be the
maybe?
response to what I said.
You
I was
you
hoping
lose
for
a
that.
fight, you lose your parts. Like
Yeah.
that's Souls-like.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you do have to go through. There is a lot of parts in Armored Core. I mean, all the parts are named like random letters and numbers, and you got to keep track of them all.
Yeah,
Like, I
it
was-
seems like
ARF
this time they did a better
You need
job
a
of that.
spreadsheet to play that
Yeah,
game.
you need a spreadsheet. You can be like knee deep in parts when you play that. But
Yeah.
I don't
It looks
know.
like on
The
this
new
one they did a better job with that.
That's what I was hoping
organizing
for.
parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying that leg parts weren't absolutely a detriment, which is a thing that has been consistently true for Armored Cores. You updated your movement? It's better than your normal movement?
What about Stranger of Paradise?
Yeah, I could see that.
That's a sort of like what Souls like light version.
Yeah, I've played that one.
Yeah.
Maybe Hollow Knight.
Yeah, in that when you die, you drop your soul's equivalent. Yeah.
And you have to dodge a lot.
Maybe I'd throw Control on that list a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
Control's very
Ooh.
soulsy kind of to me a little bit, as far as like the
I wouldn't put
setting.
Control on that list in terms of like gameplay, but oh my god, everybody play Control.
Yeah, I still
What
haven't beaten it
about-
though. I need to beat it. It's
So
really
I
good.
know that there's this one game that is labeled a roguelike, but I'm not sure if I never played the game yet, so I don't know if it's Souls-like though. Have
Sure.
a Nice Death.
I know I've heard of that. Which one is that?
Have a nice
I've
It's
death.
the one
heard of
where
it,
you're
but I
playing
don't
as
know.
Death and you have to like wrangle in your employees so you can have a vacation or something.
I mean, that sounds a
familiar.
lot like way back in the day.
Grim Fandango.
If anybody, yes, thank you.
Grim Fandango.
Oh,
I was about to say, does anybody
Yeah.
know what game I'm talking about? And
Mhm.
he immediately got that.
Oh, yeah, Grim
Shout
Fandango
out
for
to
sure.
shout out to Tim Schafer on that.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
That
Tim
is so like
Schafer,
those
the old
games
Lucas,
to play.
the old LucasArts games. Oh my god,
Yep.
Yeah, classic.
Full Throttle is still my favorite.
Yep.
Full Throttle is great. I like the old Monkey Island games.
Yeah.
Monkey Island.
Good
I
old,
still
Costume
haven't
Quest games are great if
played-
you haven't played those.
Rebel Assault.
In Insult, sword fighting is the best thing ever.
Gang
Oh,
Beasts.
yeah.
Can't go wrong.
I remember insulting the very clearly shitty car salesman. It is clearly totally not a Texan.
Yeah, Full Throttle is actually
In,
kind of a crazy game.
Mark Hamill's in that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
In
This-
McAllen.
That would actually make a really good movie because it's a rather short story. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would make a really good movie. Who would play the main guy?
Which one?
In
Bruce
Full
Campbell.
Throttle?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah. Oh.
He's supposed to be older and grizzled. So yeah, Bruce Campbell.
There was a time I actually played that game so much as a kid that I could like recite the lines.
Yeah, I used to speed run it.
Yeah.
I'd come home and just beat that game in like
just
25 minutes.
Fun. Yeah, because it was fun. Yeah. Yep.
I would speed run Full Throttle, and I would speed run Grim Fandango.
My first playthrough
and
of it,
the first couple of Monkey Island.
I kept getting stuck at the junkyard. Like I couldn't like figure out the controls, like or what you were supposed to do to get the dog.
It was that stupid dog. That dog would
stupid
chase
dog.
you away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It's either the things that slow people down in that is either the dog or using the RV car when you actually get to end game.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. Full Throttle end game. Yep. Alrighty. We are about an hour and 15 minutes, so we should probably wrap it up here. We got a good chunk of everything in though. So.
Yeah.
Any other things you guys want to fit in here before we end?
I had
Not
nothing.
too long? Okay.
I used to speedrun Super Mario Brothers 2. That was my speedrun comfort game when I was a kid.
Oh, was it?
Super Mario Brothers 2. I feel bad, dog.
No way, I love that game.
No,
I like it because I love it because it's so weird compared to all the other games because it's not a Mario game. And I love
it was Doki Doki Panic. Like,
yeah, love it. I like how weird it is.
Yeah, that's the thing I remember as a kid, like really being a big fan of the original Mario Brothers, and then being really big fan of number 3, and then being introduced to number 2 and being like, "Whoa, this is like way different."
Yeah, loved it.
Welcome to Super Mario Brothers USA.
We should do an NES episode, just NES games.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I will go on and on.
I will talk my ass off about Journey to Silius.
Okay, next.
Speaking of older games, as you guys know, I've been moving. I'm packing up my house. I was flipping through some older boxes, and I found a still in the shrink wrap copy of Gex 64.
Oh wow!
We were just talking about Gex.
If anyone would like to buy that, by the way,
I had Gex. I had Gex on the 3DO. That game was bomb. Yeah, I had a 3DO.
Yeah, I would like look up the price for that because that's probably
collectible. Yeah, look up the price for selling it.
If it's still completely sealed, like shrink wrap sealed, you can make some fucking money on that.
Why didn't you play it?
Yeah, why didn't you play it?
Because this was one of the weird sample games my granddad got, and he never got me my N64 from his sample package before he passed.
Oh, man.
So you had games, but nothing to play them on.
Yep.
There's actually a game that I'm really looking forward to playing once it's out.
For me, that's Diablo 4.
What's it called?
Billy Bust Up.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the premise of the story, but I've seen people testing out like one of the levels, and it's like you almost jump to meet. Like there's a chase scene where like you're a little Billy Goat, and you're running away from like the boss or dodging with the boss.
Okay.
Like one of them is just dodging the boss, and then there's another one where in order to beat the boss, you have to do a dead man volley. And it's music. It's like a musical game.
Okay.
Almost.
Nice. There's been some pretty good ones of those that have come out kind of lately.
Oh yeah.
Rhythm games. But shout out to City Skylines 2. I know we didn't have that on the list, but I'm definitely.
Oh yeah, when is that coming out?
November, I want to say October.
I
don't remember.
End of the year at some point.
I cannot wait to give Paradox yet more money. You know how it is.
And there will probably be another Solaris expansion or something before that.
There's also the Star Trek game they're making.
What?
Paradox is? I thought they did. Isn't that a mobile game?
No, there's an actual Stellaris-like game they're making now.
That Paradox is making?
I think it's Paradox.
Ooh, if Paradox is making that, I'm definitely looking at it. Because to me, Paradox has had a couple little foibles over the last few years, but to me they're also golden boys out there trying to do the right thing.
So random thought with VR being kind of like where it's at right now, and having mech games. I just thought of something. So we mentioned this on a previous episode. Steel Battalion in VR.
Yes,
Steel
it's,
Battalion,
yes, it's yes, it is
game.
Paradox, by the way.
That Xbox game that released with like a $500 solid steel controller.
I think it was like episode
Oh my
two
God.
since you brought it up, but like that's something that they haven't tried yet.
Here's the thing with that. For that to be a thing, Microsoft would have to be involved with it because they were involved with the whole thing the last time on the 360. It was like Capcom made that game, right?
Yeah.
And so they'd have to be involved with it, but Microsoft's kind of ducking away from traditional VR. They still have it like on an enterprise level, but they're not really doing it so much, in the consumer space to get people like, of the Vive and the Index and all those kind of things. So it would be on Microsoft to make that happen. So I don't think that would happen.
Yeah.
But maybe Sony's throwing money and stuff now. So
I mean, admittedly, we never thought we'd see that Xbox game where the president was the pilot of a giant mech.
What was that called?
Iron Eagle something. I don't remember.
That.
Oh my God.
That was oh God, what was it? Is that Devolver? They brought that back.
Yeah, and it was released in Japan exclusively originally, and then came to every console.
Yeah, that's right. The president had his own like mech and everything. Yeah, that was crazy.
And he's just a total. It was even in Japan, I think, voiced by American voice actors, and the president's like, "Fuck you, we got this."
Yeah, it's like crazy. Yeah, crazy voice acting. Yeah, I was thinking of Steel Battalion.
Super America Plus.
Because I was thinking, what's like a horrible game? Like in the future, not now, but like a next episode or something. What is like a horrible game that you never thought you would ever see, but like happened? And like, what are some that haven't happened yet that could happen? Would be like a funny topic. But I think we should. Oh yeah, that caught me off guard. That was funny.
So
that song is now stuck in my head. Next episode, we will definitely be doing an NES cast and talking about good old.
But
NES
by the way,
games.
guys, so Star Trek Infinite is Paradox. At launch, it will have 4 factions.
Is it mobile though?
No,
it's not.
It's literally Stellaris, but Star Trek.
I think we should start a community vote on if we should get Miss to play Gex 64. That would be awesome.
And you
have to play it on stream.
You know what? He can play it emulated, but he should sell that physical.
Yeah, I wouldn't open up the collectible one. And
I mean, I'll be honest. My next big stream is probably going to be the entire Star Ocean collection.
Oh, Star Ocean! That's some goated shit.
That's good stuff.
Because they're re-releasing the first 2 on the Switch.
I was going to say. Wasn't there something about Star Ocean recently?
So the first 2 are going to be on the Switch, and then I have the rest for either PlayStation or Xbox.
I still have my Japanese copies of Star Ocean.
What, Blue Sphere?
Star Ocean 1 and Star Ocean Second Story on the PSP.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Same. Sadly, you cannot stream from the PSP.
Or
at least not easily.
You can't.
There is a way
not easily, at least.
Play the Game Boy Star Ocean game that's not very widely known, but it's not available in English, so you'd have to find a special way of playing that.
That, or I can work on my Japanese some more.
Oh yeah.
We do not condone piracy, but at the same time,
I didn't say
find an IPS patch and.
Alrighty, well that concludes this episode. Thank you all for listening to Azure Infinitum podcast, and look forward to Azure Summer Fest. Like I said earlier, coming next weekend. This is August 25th through 27th. Events begin at 12 PST. That's 3 p.m. EST if you're Eastern, or if you are Central, it's going to be 2 p.m. Central. And they run all day for 3 days between the 25th and the 27th. And,
nice.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As a reminder, we do not condone playing hooky from work, but if you do, we'll welcome you.
Yep, we won't say nothing.
And there's
no snitches here.
There's our ending.